Okay, what is going on, everybody? Hello, hello. Hello, my friends. Hello, my friends, and welcome to another full day of gameplay streaming. I hope that you guys are excited for more variety today. Talk about big variety this week. So yesterday we had a simulation-style game in Jurassic Park Evolution, and then we had Battle Royal first-person shooting in H1Z1. Tonight, we've got... Well, today, it is the morning for me, actually. We've got a puzzle platformer in Unravel 2, the sequel to 2016's indie darling, I guess you could say. And then tonight we've got the continuation of Vampire, the game that I played all last week, the RPG action-style hybrid kind of game. Tomorrow... we've got a podcast, and then Street Fighter. So within 3 days, you've got 3 completely different laid-out variety days, 6 different streams, 6 different kinds of content. Pretty crazy, huh? I mean, even on... even during most weeks, I don't do that much variety in a short period of time. So, welcome, my friends. Today will be Unravel 2 here on my first gameplay stream. With the new gameplay element that this is now 2 Yarnies combined instead of 1, leading to kind of different kinds of innovation in puzzling and platforming and the like, okay? And then tonight will be the continuation of Vampire, which honestly I don't know how it's going to go. As you guys saw last time I played, there was a giant difficulty spike out of nowhere, and now these bosses I'm fighting are incredibly difficult to the point where I have to fight 2 at once now. And it just seems like insane. I have no healing items. I have to fight 2 bosses at once. It's out of control. So I guess we'll see how tonight goes. 2 more hours of Vampire may determine how much more I focus on that playthrough. Because quite frankly, I think that most people really weren't too interested in the game after a few sessions. But I stuck with it. And, now I've been busy with E3 and everything, and now I'm finally getting back to gaming. I'm curious how many people are actually going to show up for Vampire moving forward, so I guess we'll see. But that's going to be today, okay? And then tomorrow, my podcast should be great. My podcast is going to cover so much stuff. First of all, I haven't done a podcast in so long. All right. So long that this podcast should definitely get some interest. I'm going to have my big E3 roundup where I tell you the best, the worst, what was great at E3 and what was absolutely stupid at E3. I'm going to work on that tonight, actually. I'm going to do a gaming calendar review where I'm going to update my gaming calendar for the rest of the year and go through that on the podcast, okay? It's going to be a great podcast tomorrow. I hope you guys will come by and hang out with me. And then, of course, the Street Fighter tomorrow night. More than likely, I'll try Super Turbo again, although I don't know how much I'm going to enjoy it, being that it's the wrong version of Super Turbo. It's this too fast, sped-up version for people who played the game on PC for 10 years, so, not very fun for me. But it is what it is, I guess. And then Friday, I'm not sure what I'm doing yet. It's really going to be dependent on you guys. And what I mean by that is on Friday, I'm going to play the 2 new releases, Jurassic Park Evolution and Unravel 2. But the order that I play them and the amount of attention I give to each game is going to be dependent on how much you guys liked what I did this week. So, for example, yesterday, Jurassic Park Evolution had decent attendance for a stream. Participation was pretty decent on stream. Overall, it seems people enjoyed it because it was something different. But the question is, would people show up again, right? Today, Unravel 2. Again, how's this stream going to go? Will people show up? Will people be contributing? Or is it going to be a stream where everyone claims that they're bored or whatever, So dependent on how, today goes, will help me determine what order I'm going to play the games on Friday. Plus, I may do a poll. I may do a Twitter poll as well to say out between the 2 games, which do you want to see me do as the main stream and which is the second stream this Friday, okay? So we'll see how things go and play it by ear, okay? Alrighty then. So, I don't really have much in the realm of updates or anything for you guys today. Yesterday I had a ton of information to relay about, Patron's Choice and the like. Today I really don't. The one thing I do want to say is thank you again You guys were really awesome over E3 weekend. You supported me, you know, by not only being here on the streams, but also watching the videos on YouTube, and it certainly helped out. So thank you guys for that. Thank you for all of your positivity around the streams and the videos. You guys are awesome in that regard. And, you know, I hope I can keep it at the good levels that I've had it for, like, the past month. I really do. You know, exceeding the sub goals for the month already. And, you know, otherwise just keeping you guys really entertained. That's the whole point, right? And I'm glad that people are enjoying my stuff and coming by positively to hang out and have fun. And it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good every day to wake up and be able to come to stream and say, we're going to do some fun stuff today on stream. We're going to have a good time. You know what I mean? I don't need to worry about, oh, there's going to be stupid negativity and drama about some new bullshit. It seems like we've shaken that stuff off, which is great. I don't want to be involved with any of that crap. I just want to focus on fun stuff. You know, it was a week ago today when DSPGaming was erroneously suspended by YouTube because of their bullshit algorithms. And I was in a big case of worry where I was really, really going to be worried that my channel was gone and that was it. You know, how am I going to archive my stuff moving forward? 8 years of work lost. You know, that was a big horror for me. One of the things that, you know, 8 years of work destroyed because YouTube doesn't know what the hell they're doing. And they don't give a shit, right? But thank God we got it back, and, you know, I'm just pleased, and let's just keep it up, okay? Let's just keep everything going. Okay. Oh, my head itches. Ah. There we go. Alright, guys. So, really, I don't think there's much to talk about in the realm of gaming news, in the realm of anything today. As you guys know, E3 is pretty much done. What happens with E3 typically is you got 3 days of press conferences, then the floor opens on Tuesday, and we all get tons of information, and then that's it. You know, even though E3 is technically Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, by, you know, Tuesday, you've heard everything. And so, really, we're probably not going to get any more big announcements or anything out of E3. What's out there is out there. From what I'm to understand, there really wasn't that much else outside. I mean, yesterday morning, there was the Nintendo press conference, and I talked about that yesterday, Smash and all that. But outside of that, there really hasn't been much else information. Like, no real other big blockbuster. Oh my god, did you hear this game or this game? No, nothing like that. Pretty much everything we knew about, we already knew about. And so there really hasn't been much else huge out of E3. You know, since the press conferences ended on Monday. So, there shouldn't be too much extra to talk about. I am going to, like I said, tonight what I'm going to do is go through the game release schedule now that it's been updated. And I'm going to update my calendar, so... But outside of that, you know, it's not like, wow, did you hear that this was going to fuck it? This was announced that it wasn't at a press conference, a big new game. Like, none of that, so... It is what it is. You know, this E3, I think, was a good one. We had a lot of information about the new games coming out. Maybe not as much information as people had wanted, but at least we got a good idea of where gaming's going in the next year, okay? Okay. All right. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to talk about before we get like into the plug segment or anything like that, but I really don't think there is. Yeah, I think that it's time to just get started with business. Business. Super Wombat Man asks, do you think I can ever make it to 100% Twitch streaming where I'm fully supporting myself on here? Well, let me give you some perspective, Super Wombat Man, alright? When I started streaming on Twitch again in late 2016, this was probably, no exaggeration, what I was making on Twitch was probably about 1/10 to maybe 1/5 of my income. Very little in perspective. Over the course of the time in the last year that I turned myself into a full-time streamer and I changed my methods up and I became more of an interactive streamer and the like, Twitch now is my biggest source of income. All right. So in a little over a year, because I really started this transition, I'd say around March of 2017. So in just a little over a year, about a year and a quarter, right, I turned Twitch into being roughly, I would say, around 4 times as profitable as it used to be. I I've grown the channel for sure. My streams now, on average, get way more viewers than they used to. I've had way more followers. Cheer subs and tips are always, pretty decent. Even on a slow day, typically cheer subs and tips end up being decent. Now, am I near a case where Twitch is 100% of my income? No, I'm not. Okay. The good news is if I can keep it on a positive trend the way that I've had, okay, yes, it could. It could eventually, maybe within, I would think maybe within another year, if we can really keep this going like this, then yes, I think that within I could do it. Because I know exactly what I need for my budget to pay my bills, okay? And I'm not super far off. Like I said, if I had a little bit more growth here on Twitch, okay, a little bit more, if I could increase my Twitch viewership and Twitch contributions, I don't know, I want to say by maybe a third, okay, it would make enough to do everything. It would pay everything. And then I could just say, well, whatever I make on YouTube, I make on YouTube. It's not a concern. If they screw me over, they demonetize my videos, they do stuff like that. You know what I mean? Then it won't matter. Because I'll be making enough just from Twitch to do my basic, pay my basic bill levels and everything and have my budget, The problem I'm having, sadly, is that I haven't had consistent income for years. And what I mean by that is, oh, okay, it looks like I'm going to make this much. Boom, something happens and my income drops. And then I'm like, well, fuck, now I got to find a way to make up for that. What do I do here? Do I do this? Do I do that? Over the years, it's been various things. Adopting Patreon, changing up my content style, right? Remember the year when I focused on KO Gaming? And that worked for the year until YouTube decided to demonetize all the videos on that channel. And then I changed it up again. I said I'll become a live streamer, right? And that, it's like thing after thing after thing just keeps happening. And so I can never have consistent income. Every time it looks like I know what I'm making and this is going to be good, this is what I'm going to make, boom, some other ridiculous, horrendous garbage happens. I mean, who would have thunk that after living here for over 3 years, I was going to be told that my tax attorney had done all my taxes wrong and I was going to owe thousands and thousands of dollars in back taxes to the state, and then I was going to end up owing thousands of dollars to a new tax attorney to fix the issue, a new tax attorney to fix that issue. So, see what I mean? Like, every single time I think that, oh, here's my budget, here's what I need to make, here's what I'm making, some crazy shit happens, And it sucks because I would love to tell you that if we could continuously grow the streams, okay, and I grow at this rate, that within, 6 months, I'll be free from the tethers of YouTube, and it won't matter what I make on YouTube. Sadly, that's not the case at all. I don't know what's going to happen between now and then. And it's a nightmare. It really is a nightmare that I really don't know what my future is. It sucks. I would love to tell you guys a better roadmap or a plan, or here's my plans for, for this and that. I can't even do that because it seems like every fucking time I've tried, some other shit came to bite me in the ass. Every time now. And it gets to the point where I get tired of it. I'm tired out. And I just want to be here and enjoy games and have fun with you guys on a daily basis. And that's all it's about. But then, here's the next thing. Here's the next drama. Here's the next stress. Boom, boom, boom. It's enough. So I don't know. I can't answer your questions. I know I see Super Robot was asking more questions. But is there a budget? And I can't even answer anything. I can't. At a moment's notice, things could fluctuate and things could change. And it seems like most of the time these days now, there was a time, all right, when I could say, okay, the negative things that are happening to me are my fault. I really screwed up. I said something I shouldn't have said, and it was considered too risque, and I get banned from Flip TV, right? Or, I did this or I did that, and it pissed people off, and, I get in trouble. That's one thing. That's definitely one thing. It's another thing when YouTube's ad revenue system completely falls out from under them, and, everyone's making half as much money as they used to. It's another thing when a tax attorney screws me over for 3 years by taking my money and not doing my taxes properly. You know what I mean? It's another thing when people file false copyright strikes and claims and shit against me. I can't control that stuff. That's stuff completely out of the realm of my control. And the bottom line is, I'm just a guy who's here having fun with you guys on stream every day. I don't care about the drama and shit anymore, and I don't address it. So any negative shit that happens to me in that regard, too, like, I have nothing to do with it. It's not like, oh, I pissed someone off, and now, you know, Phil said this really inflammatory statement on stream, which pissed people off, so they filed false copyright strikes against him. No, like, I don't even do that shit anymore. I'm just focusing here on having fun with you guys and playing games. I don't even do anything that could be considered inflammatory, so you tell me where these people are coming from who try to hurt me, you know? I don't get it. It's just really weird, right? So anyway, you know, it is what it is. I don't understand, you know, I don't really understand that kind of methodology. You know, guys know how I don't understand the weird shit. But that being said, guys, you know, I'm here to have fun. And you know, that's all I care about. As long as I keep having fun and, you know, making a living doing it, I'll do this for as long as I can. I really hope, I mean, really, this is my real honest hope, is that maybe by the end of this year, 2018, you know, that's 6 more months, we got a lot of big game releases coming out, that I will gain enough when it comes to my following here on Twitch, that hopefully we can get enough consistent contributors and people who just love what I do and enough subscribers that will resubscribe, that yes, I can finally say, you know what, yes, YouTube does exist and I'm going to keep uploading videos to it, but I don't care how much money I make, I don't care who I'm partnered with, I don't care what the ad revenue levels are. You know, it's just, it is what it is, and I make what I make because I'm doing so good on Twitch, I don't have to worry about that, right? I hope and I wish that's the case, but I don't know if that's going to be the case. It may be that I'm always a slave to YouTube's nonsense, and then, you know, then who knows what's going to happen, right? All right. Alright guys, that's enough of that. Let's get to the plugs. Let's go through the plug segment as usual. Then we will do shout-outs for people who have cheered, subbed, and tipped on the pre-stream. Oh, by the way, I don't know what happened. Here, this is supposed to be up. I am going to have this up for the playthrough because Unraveled is a game with no dialogue and a game with, it does have a narrative, but it's not like an immersive narrative. Mostly it's a puzzle game. So there's no reason to not have the stream stats leaderboard up for the Unravel 2 playthrough. It won't be intrusive or anything. You know what I mean? Much like with Jurassic World yesterday, it's a sim game. It's not going to be intrusive to have a couple stats on the screen, you know? So, we will have this up for this playthrough. You know, flip side of that, like, Vampire, I didn't, and I won't. I won't have that up there. It all depends on the style of game, okay? Alright, guys, so let's get to the plugs. Again, as I've already said, guys, thank you very much. Appreciate you guys. I definitely appreciate you guys being here on the streams daily, having fun, contributing, spreading the word, watching the videos, watching the streams, everything, right? Very awesome. If you would like to go above and beyond being just a video watcher or stream viewer, maybe you like my stuff so much you want to ensure that I will be able to keep doing this, you know, full time, you know, for the foreseeable future, there are 3 primary ways that you can contribute and help me out, all right? The first is Patreon. And let me tell you guys something. This month in particular, to pledge to my Patreon is going to be a big thing, all right? You can check it out over at patreon.com/DarksidePhil. Your monthly pledges to my Patreon campaign allow me to keep doing this. You know, they help me with the different various costs of doing this kind of business, like buying all the games, cost of electricity, internet, the equipment that I have to use, etc. Okay, all the upkeep. But you get cool personal perks for pledging to my Patreon on a monthly basis. You actually earn things that you get back. And in particular, the reason that it's very, very pertinent, if you pledge to my Patreon this month, we already hit a goal, a subscriber goal here on my Twitch channel, where it's a lock that later this summer I will be doing the Rageathon. Okay, this is going to be a marathon event where people who pledge to my Patreon this month are going to be nominating and voting on games that cause me to rage. And it could be a variety of stuff. It could end up being games I played in the past that caused me to rage. It could be these really difficult, crazy platforming games. It could be, you know, a totally different genre. I don't know. It's going to be totally in the hands of the patrons what they select games that will cause me rage in this Rageathon. All right. So that being said, if you pledge $5 or more to my Patreon this month, you'll be able to nominate and vote on these games starting in July. Okay? And it's unprecedented amount of control because real talk, usually, typically, around 50 people are the people who actually like nominate and vote on these games for these patron events. 50 people determine an entire event that thousands of people watch. Typically hundreds of people watch on the stream and thousands of people watch on YouTube. So just think about the amount of control that you can have over a fun event, right? Just for pledging to my Patreon. So please check it out. By the way, this isn't the only perk you can get. There's other perk levels as well, but I really feel this is the strongest perk this month. So please give it a look at patreon.com/darksidefil. $5 or more contribution. You get to completely, formulate that event. All right? It's going to be awesome. Okay. Number 2. Oops, hold on a second. There we go. Number 2, there is my Teespring Shop, which is a very fun place where you can get all kinds of merchandise, including t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, stickers, and mugs. All kinds of fun stuff that I can personally attest to you is great quality because I own a bunch of it. I personally bought a bunch of the shirts, one sweatshirt. I even have the mug that I use on every single stream now. And I own this stuff now for over a year. And I can tell you guys it's great quality stuff. It is. So please give it a look at teespring.com/stores/DSPGaming. Anything you buy from the shop, you get a cool collectible. And I get a commission, right? I get a little commission from each sale. And it helps me out. So it's a win-win for both of us, right? Please give it a look. And thanks to anyone who has bought something from my shop in the past. I appreciate that, okay? Last but certainly not least, guys, if you guys are here live on the stream, and why I say that because some people actually watch this pre-stream segment on demand on YouTube, but if you are here live on the stream and you are having a lot of fun and you want to maybe get a shout out during the stream, you can either cheer with bits, subscribe to my channel, or tip me. And if you do any of those three things, I will give you a verbal shout out during the course of the gameplay. However, there are a few criteria that I want to cover before we get started so you understand how it works. Number 1, it is completely subjective on my behalf. I don't have to read every single thing someone cheers, or they say when they subscribe or tip, simply because I want the stream to have a certain kind of flow, and I want it to be positive. So what that means is, please, number 1, if you're going to look for a shout out, be as short-worded and concise as possible. If you give me this long, overblown, multi-sentences, 400-word paragraph, chances are I'm not going to read it and derail the whole stream. This is a gameplay stream where I'm trying to entertain people and keep it moving. It's not a Q&A stream, okay? So, shorter the better. You want to say, ask me a quick question, give me a quick comment based off of something going on in the game, tell a joke, anything. It's all good. It's all game. It's all fair game, but understand it has to be something that's going to fit into the stream, not some crazy-ass, giant 20 questions kind of a deal. That's number 1. Number 2, please keep it on topic and keep it positive. Do not come in asking political or religious questions. I'm not going to answer those on the stream. This is a gameplay stream after all. This is not the place for that. If you come in with insults against myself or others, including people in the stream chat, other streamers, other YouTubers, I'm going to ignore it. If you come in telling me about drama and negative shit, did you hear that this guy's saying something bad about you, Phil? Did you know this guy's stealing your videos? I don't care. I can't stop them. I'm here putting out an entertaining stream. That's all I care about. That's it. I got to stay positively focused on the good and what's in the now right now. I can't be worried about what every other, jerk out there is doing to me. So, that is the deal. We don't focus on that stuff in the stream. If you try to get me to notice that stuff or talk about it, I'm not going to. And I'm not going to address any of your cheers or whatever, okay? So there you go. In general, 95% of people who cheer, sub, or tip to get a shout-out get it. You always get a few people who are confused or bad apples or newcomers, and they come in trying to do that stuff, And it's fine. In general, the streams are very positive and fun. In particular, lately, they've been really great, so thank you guys for that, okay? Now, maybe you want to go another step further. You want to get visual recognition for your contributions. You can get a cool animation to play here live on the stream if you do a certain level of contribution. If you either cheer 50 bits or more, if you subscribe to the channel and click the share button after you do, or if you tip me $5 or more, all in one go, any of those three things, okay? And you will get an animation to play on the stream, a thank you animation. So it's a cool way to get both visual and verbal recognition for your contributions, okay? So 2 more quick things, then we're done with the plugs. Number 1, let's talk about subscribing. What's the benefit of subscribing to you? Well, number 1, if you subscribe to the channel, you get access to all of my cool emotes, including the ever-popular DSP Pepe emote. But in addition to that one, you've got the recent Street Fighter-related emotes, including DSP Ryu, the Hadouken, and the Fireball. These are really cool, especially if you like fighting games. You can use them both in this stream and any other stream. And they're really pertinent, to fighting games in general. Good stuff, right? In particular, I've been playing the Street Fighter Anniversary Collection. I will continue to play this collection. Tomorrow I'm playing it, tomorrow night. So another great opportunity to subscribe and use those emotes, right? Now, in addition to that, you also have the ability to not have to see ads when I run them. And I'll be honest, I'm not a guy who runs a million ads. I'm not. At one point years ago, when ads were far more profitable here on Twitch, I used to do multiple ad breaks. I usually don't do that anymore. I usually take 1 to 2 major breaks during a stream and run an ad when I do so. But nevertheless, if you don't want to see the ad, if you hate advertisements like me, because I do, if you subscribe, you don't have to see those ads. I'll get credit for it, but you don't have to actually watch that stupid ad during a break. All right. And then number 3, you get the cool Chat Crown support badge. You start off with the Bronze Crown for a new sub. After 3 months of ongoing support, it becomes Silver. Then at 6 months, Gold. And then after a year, you get Rubies. And, in a few months here, we'll have some people hitting their 2-year anniversary, which is another milestone. So, pretty awesome stuff. And thank you to anyone who is an ongoing sub. Your subscriptions, have made so many things possible. Just this month, we've got a second Patron's Choice playthrough that's going to happen in Simpsons Hit and Run. And the Rage-a-thon, thanks to you guys and your support, all right? So please consider subbing if you haven't. It's a great time. You get access to a lot of fun stuff people seem to really enjoy when they sub, okay? All right, last but not least, tipping. How do you tip? Because I mentioned you can get a shout-out for a tip, right? Or you can get a visual, an animation to play if you tip me a certain level. So how do you tip? Well, there's 2 ways to do it. You can either look below the stream, and if you do look below my Twitch stream right now, you should see a grid of information, including the stream rules, which I strongly recommend you read and understand. There's also a link to my DSPGaming YouTube channel, where I archive all of my daily gameplay streams if you miss out on them live. And then, of course, there's a section that says Tips Jar. And if you click on that section, it'll take you to my tips section, where you can leave either an anonymous tip if you'd like to, or you can leave your name and a message to get a shout out. All right. This is a independent thing, third party through PayPal. It has nothing to do with the Twitch, interactions at all. And that's why I need to explain how to do it, because it is different for everyone. Okay. Now, if you looked below my stream and you're like, I don't know what the hell Phil's talking about, there's no information below his stream, more than likely you're on a mobile device. And that's why you can't see it. You're on mobile Twitch. If you're on mobile Twitch, if you type in ! Tip into the stream chat, it will bring up a command with my bot and a link. You can click on that link, it'll take you to the tips page directly, and you can leave a tip that way as well. So that's how you tip. It helps me out tremendously. Thanks to anyone who does contribute. I do appreciate all of your contributions, guys. All right. Fair enough? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for shout-outs. And what that means is that I am going to, my neck. I am going to give you shout-outs for people who cheered, subbed, and tipped here on the pre-stream. Give credit where credit is due. It also means I'll be updating that stream stats leaderboard, okay? So first of all, overnight, when I was not even live streaming, Atlas Telemon cheered 45 bits and said pre-stream hype. It was 6:34 a.m. my time. I know he doesn't live in the United States like I do. So for him, perhaps it was a more reasonable hour to be cheering. So thank you, Atlas Telemon, for keeping me in mind when I wasn't even live. All right, now, time for proper credit for those who cheered, subbed, and tipped while the stream was live. Here we go. Shout out to TeeDubs. TeeDubs cheered. He says, just want to give you props. Since the start of 2018, you've been so consistent with your streams. I know firsthand that's harder than it sounds. Your time change has been great. Saturdays off are working very well. I know you don't hear this enough, but thanks for your content and entertainment. You know what, TeeDubs? Thank you, because here's why I say that. I love this kind of feedback. Whether it's positive or negative, I love this kind of feedback, okay? And I will openly admit that just a couple years ago, my streams were not as consistent. There were days when I wasn't feeling good and I would just take a day off out of nowhere. I would be late to stream. A lot of people had big complaints about that I would say I was going to stream at a certain time and I would always be late, right? That was a different era. That was a time when, honestly, things were not going so good. I was not feeling so good about doing this as a living. And a lot of the times it was actually, it was kind of like, damn, I got to get on stream now. It was like stressful. I don't feel like that anymore. I don't. I really do feel the last year to year and a half has reinvigorated me and made me love what I do again. And that's awesome. It's not just me going through the motions. It's me enjoying what I'm doing again and really genuinely loving what I do and interacting with you guys and having fun. That's why I'm not, kind of in that mentality. I actually am excited to jump on stream. And in particular, TeeDubs, just so you know, since you brought it up here, the changes that I have made recently are working out very well. I'm actually getting to sleep at a normal hour. I'm actually waking up at a normal hour. It's not, for years, I would say from the years of like 2015, all through the last year. Okay, so 3 years, I was up way too late at night. I would wake up way late in the day, and I wasn't even having normal human hours. I never really adjusted to this time zone when I moved. In a lot of ways, I was still living on kind of an East Coast schedule. No, actually, no, it wasn't. It was just fucked up. My schedule was just totally fucked up, all right? Now, I'm on a normal schedule. I'm able to, get enough rest. I'm able to wake up at a normal time. Today, I woke up at like 8:30 in the morning, and I felt fine. It wasn't like, man, I'm groggy. I feel like shit. I woke up. I was like, man, I feel decent. I got up. I was able to read news, check on stuff, for work. I had breakfast. I looked outside. There's beautiful wildlife in my backyard. Looking at that, relaxing a little bit before I came to stream. And then I had extra time to come to stream. I was talking with people in stream chat before the stream started. I was like, this is so different from how it used to be. Seriously, it used to be every day, last minute, running to start. I'm feeling a hell of a lot better, man. I am. I'm feeling a hell of a lot better. And that's cool. So thank you, TeeDubs, for letting me know that the schedule changes that I made are working for you. And I'm glad that knowing that taking that Saturdays off isn't, bad for you. I would like more feedback like this. I really would. I really would, because I need to know what works and what doesn't. And you giving me feedback like this lets me know, at least for you like the changes and everything. So thank you for that. I really do appreciate that, okay? Thank you very much. All right, shout out to Maud72, who subscribed to the channel. Thank you, Maud, for the subscription and the support. YOLO Domper cheered. He says, can you bring back Skype calls with Patreons on Hate Live? I think it would be zany fan interaction. No. A big bumbling black man cheered and said, do you still drink VA energy drinks? I remember you would drink them and talk about them all the time in your older streams. Actually, I do still have them, and I do drink them from time to time, but Kat actually likes them more than I do. Kat, fell in love with them, because she, I had them here, and when she moved in, she was like, oh, I want to try one, and she tried one. She's like, oh my God, this is really good. And, she likes energy drinks too, just like me, and she used to drink freaking Monster. Now, Monster, in my opinion, is one of the worst. It tastes like shit, and it's terrible for you. It gives you this big crash in the middle of the day. And I told her, you got to try some better stuff. If you're going to drink an energy drink something more natural. She started drinking the V8s, no crash, tastes better, low calorie. She loves them. So she actually drinks the V8 way more than me. Typically, I drink a Mountain Dew Kickstart, but, sometimes I drink the V8 as well. Shout out to Aust Mink, who did 100-bit cheer. He says, don't write your thesis here. That's right. So Aust Mink is actually referring to when I was giving you the rules for shout-outs. Yeah, don't write a college thesis. Don't copy and paste an entire Shakespearean soliloquy. Don't put War and Peace into a attempt to get a shout out, because I'm not going to do it. Okay. So let's get you up there. Austin Mink, your top cheer for today. Thank you very much, Austin Mink. That is not Austin Mink. What the hell did I type? That is Austin Mink. Wow. Okay, there we go. Thank you, Austin Mink. You're the current top cheerer for today. Shout out to Johnny Saurus Rex, who cheers, says, will you finish Scarface this time? And can I nominate Fury if I donate for Patreon? First of all, if you are, do my Patreon this month, $5 or more at patreon.com/DarkSidePhil, you can nominate whatever you want. I'm not excluding anything as long as the game is readily available to play. Don't nominate a game that's an obscure NES game that no one can get, Don't nominate a game that was a PS1 only. It was never ported and never digital, and I have to spend $100 to get it and somehow figure out a way to capture from a PS1. Okay, that's out. But as long as it's a game that's readily available to play, yeah, you can nominate whatever you want, man. Whatever the hell you want, I will play. Now, asking me if I'm going to finish Scarface, I don't even think I could. Even if Scarface was the #1 nominated and voted game in this event, and I dedicated like 2 hours to it, I still don't think I could beat the game, because if you remember, there's an insane grind that you need to beat the game, and to do the drug delivery and all that, remember? And I don't think I'd be able to do it. Like, I think I would try and fail, and then maybe be successful at a couple drug runs, and then try and fail again and again. And even in 2 hours, I doubt I would even make much progress. It seems like there'd be like a 10-hour grind to fucking get enough money to beat the game, which is fucking ludicrous how badly designed the game is. But yeah, anyway, yeah, I would allow any game to be nominated and played in that event, okay? William, 4442. Cheers, says, Phil, what's your opinion on Nintendo stock dropping sharply after their conference? Why do you think the stock is falling? Why are Nintendo fans attacking people genuinely worried about the future Switch sales? Number one, I didn't hear about that. And it's funny because I have all the gaming news feeds like on my social media, like Twitter and everything. I get all the gaming news. I didn't hear a single report that Nintendo stock sharply fell. So I don't know if what you're saying is true or not. My reaction right now is based solely off of your information you're providing me. So if I say something wrong or stupid, I apologize in advance, guys. I'm basing it off of information I was just told in this cheer, okay? So if this is true, and if Nintendo stock sharply fell, alright, the reason I would say that happened is because investors looked at this Nintendo conference, right, this Direct Digital, or whatever it's called, Digital Direct Treehouse event, whatever the fuck it is, and they say, now wait a minute, take a look. All the other major game publishers had big events. They had big hoopla around their events. They announced multiple games, right, and even though some of them did better than others, even though some of them had more direct information on the games coming out at this date or this time frame, and others didn't, alright, Nintendo sadly just does this digital direct thing. They don't even make an effort to like promote their stuff at E3 outside of just a few games that they have there on display. They don't do a big show like everybody else does, okay? And what they showed at their digital direct was incredibly underwhelming. The only people who thought it was amazing were Nintendo fanboys, who, anything they get of Nintendo, immediately Nintendo won E3. If you actually think Nintendo won E3, you really need to reevaluate yourself as any kind of an objective person, because there is no way anyone who watched all of E3 could actively, just in a right mind, say that Nintendo won E3. Nintendo announced 2 to 3 smaller release games, and their big game for the year, Smash, basically said, oh, by the way, don't expect a lot of new content in this game because there is none. All we're doing is we're bringing back all the characters that were in the previous games and 2 others, and that's it. Don't even ask us for more content because we really worked our butts off trying to tweak the game for competitive play. And they literally said that in the video, okay? So, you're an investor, all right? And you invested in Nintendo. The Switch sold huge. You had a great year last year, right? People were buying Switches like hotcakes because of Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey and all these great games, right? This year so far has been incredibly lackluster for the Nintendo Switch. They've had almost no high-profile releases whatsoever, anything to speak of. No one's really talking about the Switch right now. We're all wondering what's the next big release. So Tennis comes out next week, and then after that, you've got a few kind of meh kind of releases between now and the fall. Unlike last year where we all had Mario Odyssey to look forward to, what's the big release for the Switch for the end of the year? Smash, that's it. And then they do this digital direct, and all they talk about is that there's not a lot of new content in the game because all they did was tweak the game and put in older characters, so don't ask for new content. And what do you think's going to happen to an investor? They're going to say, this is bad. We were hoping Nintendo would come out and announce a bunch of slew of new first-party amazing games that people would want to buy the console more for, right? Or give us a slew of, titles that are going to make a ton of money. And instead what you basically told us is here's one major game for the rest of the year, and it's not even impressive to anyone who's not a hardcore Smash player, right? So, objectively, looking at the digital direct, these investors probably looked and said, this is bad news. How are we gonna sell anything? How are we gonna make money on Nintendo when Nintendo has nothing to sell, right? And so, of course, the stock fell. They said, fuck it, dump it. Enough of this. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Nintendo has a way of kind of making you have hope that they're going to do something different or they're going to do something amazing. And they do have success. You know, when you look over the years, the Wii was a giant success and then a failure. The whole first half of the Wii, it was an insanely overblown success to the point where Nintendo didn't even know how to handle their success, and then the Wii just died completely. Then they released the Wii U, which was 100% a flop the entire time, but then they released Amiibos. That's a huge success. So now they released the Switch to huge success, and now year 2, the thing's flopping. So you see what I mean? Like, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. This is how it is with Nintendo. And I think maybe some investors are tired of the roller coaster. You know, they just want, when you're an investor, what you want is one of two things. Either you want consistency and increases, like consistent growth, or you want a quick buck. Those are the two things you want. You don't want a gamble. You don't want a stock that can go up, down, up, down, up, down at any time. So maybe they're just enough of the roller coaster ride. They unbuckled their seatbelts and they jumped the fuck off the coaster, you know? At least, you know, for someone who studied the business world, I would not want to invest in Nintendo. Fuck no. I'm serious. Like, I would, at this point, I'd be like, hell no. There's way more companies that are going to be way more consistent growth and stuff. I don't want to deal with this shit no more. Especially with the crazy-ass decisions they make and the things they do that gamers don't ask for. I've had enough. I'm tapping out. I'm out of here. So there you go. All right, a bumbling black man cheered. He says, not trying to be negative, but when you were going through depression, did you resort to drinking at times? I think everyone resorts to some kind of a crutch. Especially if they're going through a really tough time in their life, and especially if they're suffering from actual clinical depression. You know, it could be a million things. It could be, you know, a friend. It could be a substance. It could be a practice. It could be gaming. It could be anything. Yeah, for me, I openly admit, there were times in my life when I drank way too much. Because I didn't like who I was. I didn't like my life at the time. I didn't think I was going anywhere. I didn't think I was going to do anything meaningful with my life whatsoever. And no one was ever going to care about me or anything about, you know, my welfare or my livelihood or anything. Like, no one cared about me. And I was like, well, might as well drink, right? Drink to just get through it. You know, and it sucks because that's a horrible way to live. I'm going to talk a lot more about this tomorrow on my podcast, because one of the segments on my podcast tomorrow is going to be in particular how we have these big high-profile celebrities recently. You know, Kate Spade, Anthony Bourdain, who apparently by all reports are very successful, financially secure people, and they're depressed and they end up killing themselves. And some people are shocked. How could this be? These people are just weak because they're filthy rich and they still kill themselves. What a bunch of ungrateful shitheads. If I had what they had, I would never do that. And you know what? I hate to say it. I guess some people just, you know, they're lucky. They have never suffered from depression. They don't actually know what it is. And so I am going to have a big a segment on my podcast tomorrow talking about all this, about my past and stuff like that, my battle with depression on and off over the years. And, you know, hopefully it'll help a few people and clear up a few misconceptions as well. Okay? Okay. All right. That being said, let's keep going. Big Bosley cheered. He says, let me see here. Let me read what he said before I read it. Hold on. Oh, no. Big Bosley is saying, okay, here's what Big Bosley is saying. He says, once in the stream chat, he tried to use the N-word with an A at the end. I think we all know what word he's talking about. It won't let him, but he can use all other curse words. Can you change that? No. Because it's considered racially offensive. And the last thing we want is to bring controversy and people getting, you know, upset about things being said in the chat. Therefore, no, that will not be enabled. Sorry. It's actually one of the common terms that's disabled among all Twitch streamers. And then you have to actively turn off the common words filter in order to enable it. So I'm not going to do that. All right, Abdullah just tipped me $30. Wow, thank you very much, Abdullah. You are obviously the top tipper for today. You're the only tipper for today. Let me get you up on the leaderboard here. Thanks very much for that generous tip. And Abdullah says the following. He says, Phil, I loved your E3 coverage. Your reactions were so funny. I loved it. I always plan to help support you because I'm a huge fan. Any chance for more Street Fighter, they will patch it. I'm playing Street Fighter tomorrow. I'm playing Street Fighter tomorrow night, Thursday night. And I'm gonna attempt to play Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Although I say that with an asterisk next to it because the game that's in this collection is not the real Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. It is a far more sped up version that caters towards people who use really, I would say, abusable strategies online that you cannot react to fast enough. It actually makes charge characters far worse. It makes characters like Ryu, Ken, Sagat way better. or like wall dive spamming Vegas, just insanely good for no reason. You know, no skill, just spam. And it really isn't arcade Super Turbo at all. It's just it's a Super Turbo catered to people who played the artificially sped up emulated Super Turbo on PC for the past 10 years. It really isn't a game for people who actually want to play the game at a competitive level, and that's sad. But it is what it is. That's what they put into the collection. So I guess I'll try to play it. I'll probably lose a million times. I just don't give a fuck. It's sad because I was waiting so long for this collection, saying finally arcade Super Turbo, and then they completely fuck it all up. But do you really expect much more from Capcom's fighting game division at this point, even though people will say, oh, but they outsourced it. You're right. But it was Capcom's oversight that should have made sure that the people doing this project knew what they were doing. They didn't. And, you know, it is what it is, I guess. But I will give it another shot tomorrow. I'll give it another shot. We'll see what happens, okay? All right. Shout out to Gibby Pats, who did a 100-bit cheer. So you've tied for top cheer. Let me get Gibby Pats here on the leaderboard. Gibby Pats. There we go. There we are. Did I put that? Yes, Gibby Pats. Okay. I want to make sure I spelled it right. And Gibby Pats says the following. I remember back in the days you used to read messages on your Xbox 360 and humiliate stupid messages that people sent you. That's my favorite thing you used to do. Yes, Gibby Pats, you are literally talking about over 8 years ago. I remember 8 to 9 years ago when you first started getting started, you used to do this thing, and that's my favorite thing. Dude, it's 9 years later. You have to realize it's a different climate. This is a completely different situation. To just actively to be making fun of people, number one, is malicious in my opinion. Number two, it's mean-spirited. And it's not something I would want to do. You know, back then you might think it was funny, because back then I thought it was hilarious that anyone would care about me making videos on the internet to begin with. Why are you sending me messages on Xbox Live? Who am I? Why are you wasting your time? But, you know, things have changed. Now it's like, you know, people have crazy fandoms, and, you know, most of the time I realize now when I look back to those times, even though I didn't take it seriously, a lot of people looked up to me and saw me as like an idol or an entertaining personality, and maybe they watched back those videos and saw it was them that I ripped apart and got all, you know, really upset about it. And I'm like, you know what? Okay, those videos exist, but I would never go back to do something to be that mean-spirited again, because that was a time when, you know, things were different. I wasn't taking stuff seriously. I didn't really care, or I didn't even think that what I would do would hurt someone's feelings. I'm a much different person in 2018 than I was, say, in 2009, okay? Alrighty then. Call me Thick Daddy, thanks. Just cheered. And he says, you have wildlife in your backyard? You have a lion? No, but I have all kinds of wildlife. I got squirrels, beautiful birds this year. We've seen a wide variety of beautiful birds, different colors, different, you know, species that come by. And a family of rabbits. An actual family, a mother, a father, and a little baby rabbit that run around in our backyard area. And it's really cool to just, you know, wake up in the morning and you got a little kind of time to kill. You look out there and you see a bunch of cool animals running around doing stuff. You're like, wow, this is so relaxing and so cool to see nature, you know, like this. And to see interaction like that too, because, you know, a lot of places you live in a city, you don't get to see nature. When you do, it's the animals trying to live, trying to survive, not get hit by a car, right? But I live in a more, even though it is, yes, there's people here, it's a kind of a suburban area. And we have lots of greens and foliage and plants that allow wildlife to live here. And I love it. I love having that. So, pretty cool. Shout out to the Honest Troll. He says, why don't you drink Gamer Fuel? It's got no sugar, has vitamins and antioxidants, and it's aimed at gamers like you. I used to drink Gamer Fuel. I drank it for years, actually. It was about 2 years where I was constantly drinking Gamer Fuel. In fact, I'm not even kidding you. I still have powder. I bought, you know, these boxes of it years and years ago before I moved to Washington. I took it with me, and I still have it. I just never drank it. The reason I stopped drinking Gamer Fuel, honestly, is because it would get like a little chalky. And what I mean by that is, like, I would mix it into the drink would taste good, but sometimes I would end up getting this like chalkiness aftertaste. Like the powder would not fully dilute. Now, I don't know. I was using a big shaker cup thing. So you would think, right, that it would dilute properly. I would shake it up, but still, it would have like this residue that would be left on the cup. And I was like, it's a little annoying. You know, you get a powdered drink, you want to just drink it, and it tastes like a drink. Not that you're actually getting powder residue in your mouth and in your cup and everything. So I don't know if that was their formula. I don't know if I needed to dilute it more, but it's like, how much fucking water am I going to put this pouch into to dilute it properly, right? So after about a year to year and a half of drinking Gamer Fuel, I stopped drinking it, and I went to other stuff. Massive Steak says, well, G Fuel has been fully improved, tastes better, and it's not chalky anymore. Well, I believe you. I mean, it's been 5 years since I had it, so I would believe that they probably improved stuff. But, you know, my energy drinks, I'll give you an example here. The Kickstarts, they cost $1 each, and, you know, I drink one a day, and they're easy to grab at my local supermarket. Gamer Fuel, you know, a pack is, like, expensive. They're actually, I think they're more than $1 each, and, you know, you gotta make it yourself every morning. So, I don't know if I would even do that. I don't know. Shout out to YOLO Dopper. He says, I think it's better if you bring back fan calls in some fashion if Skype isn't a viable option. No. And Johnny Source Rex cheered. He says, did the LTG thing get canceled? I was looking forward to it. You are asking the wrong person, sir. Not that I blame you, but you're asking the wrong person. I have no idea what happened. You'd have to ask him. Because, you know, 2 weeks ago, I challenged him. He seemed to accept on Twitter and said he would DM me. So I said, okay, I'll follow you here on Twitter. And he never sent the DM. And it's that simple. You know, there's really nothing else to the story. There's nothing complex or, you know, that's very baseline what happened. And it's totally in his ball court. What the fuck does that mean? The ball is in his court if and when he ever wanted to do it. So, you know, I never said I wouldn't. All I said was I don't think that the actual lobby system works in the Anniversary Collection. I tried to do it, and it wouldn't work for over an hour, so I gave up. So, you know, that's totally, you know, totally up to him if he ever wants to do. I'm sure he's been hounded, too. That's the other thing. I'm sure people hounded him about it, and I'm sure he probably has a reasoning behind it or whatever. I don't know what it is because I don't talk to the guy. I've never seen one of his streams. I've never communicated with him outside of on Twitter that once. So, you know, you've got a question about it, ask him. It's that simple. All right. Shout out to Big Bosley again. He says Tales of Vesperia or Final Fantasy VI. Definitely Final Fantasy VI, although Tales of Vesperia is an outstanding game. You know, I got to go with the classics. Hardy Buck Cheer, he said, how's Phil? That was the worst and most underwhelming E3 I've ever seen. No surprises. I disagree. I completely disagree. I do think there were a few surprises. And I also think that we got enough concrete information about the games we were wondering about to say it was a decent E3. Was it the most groundbreaking, oh my god, jaw drop to the floor, amazing E3 ever? No. Was it the worst, oh my god, I can't believe how terrible this E3 was, no real good announcements and only bad thing for gamers kind of E3? No. It was kind of middle of the road, I would say. Don't worry, I'll talk about all this tomorrow on my podcast, so. Ost Mink just did a 300-bit cheer and says, Reggie wants you to play with his balls. What in the holy hell are you talking about? I have no idea, Ost Mink, but you are now the top cheerer definitively. You have overcome, so let's get you up there onto the leaderboard as the top cheerer today with 300 bits. Thank you very much, Ost Mink. Appreciate the support. A big bumbling black man, excuse me. A big bumbling black man just cheered. He says, will you be donning the cowboy hat for my podcast tomorrow? No, I will not. The cowboy hat is exclusively reserved for my Ask the King show, which would have been this week. But since I decided to do a post-E3 podcast, I'm not doing Ask the King this month. So it will return in July. Okay? Aaron PC cheers. Says, when do you think new consoles will get revealed? 1 to 2 years. Sony has already outright said that they feel that the PS4 will be supported through 2020. So we're talking probably, I mean, there's a chance maybe next E3. If not next E3, definitely 2020. And if there's anything to learn from the past, if you remember, in 2013 was when both Microsoft and Sony revealed their new consoles earlier in the year. Then they showcased them at E3, and then they both released them later on that year. So it'll probably be the same deal. Maybe earlier on in 2020, we get their early press conferences about the information about the consoles. E3, they finally show them off, and then they sell them in the fall. That's what I would expect. Gibby Pats did another 100-bit cheer, and he says, one of the top games I was excited about in E3 was Resident Evil 2 Remake. I can't wait. You and everyone, I think. You know, especially when we saw the visuals And we saw that, yes, it is going to still take place in Raccoon City. It's basically, it's not like they're redoing the game, the plot. The plot's the same, but they basically are redoing the game from the ground up. New graphics, new interface, new controls, new gameplay elements. Even though the same characters are in it, new, voice dialogue that's fully recorded, re-recorded with new voice actors, probably totally new segments of the game, I would think, right? Because they are charging full price. For everyone to understand, it is going to be a $60 release, but apparently the game is supposed to be totally new. It's not like, oh, it's Resident Evil 2 with new graphics. It's actually a totally new redesign of the game from the ground up, so it would warrant a full price tag, right? So I say yes, that Resident Evil 2 Remaster is actually one of the biggest things that we found out about at E3, and it looks great in my opinion. Can't wait to play it in January for sure. Alright guys, I think that is it. I think that is it for the pre-stream, unless anyone else has anything final to say here before we end. And then we're going to try out Unravel 2. We're going to see if this game's any good. I hope it is. I really liked Unravel 1. And I hope that this sequel is as good. It's fun. It's hard. It's hard because you get sequelitis, right? And sometimes it's really hard to live up to what you build up to in a first release. So I don't know if this will be as good as the first game, but I really liked the first Unravel. It was actually one of my favorite games of 2016. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to today's Unravel gameplay for sure to see how good it is, alright? I'm updating the subs right now, which dipped. Son of a bitch. We lost subs, guys. It is what it is, though. That's the nature of the beast, my friends. Alright, so that is it, guys. Thank you for your support. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's end the pre-stream. And let's begin with Unravel 2. Thank you, guys. Alright, here we go.